above, but this apparently began under the town of Northridge, this thrust fault, and that's why that the damage is so heavy that we've been seeing out there. You know, just because it is in the northern part of the San Fernando Valley. 6.6 earthquake at this point. We do have confirmed 2 dead so far. That number will go higher, unfortunately. And as you've seen from Bob Turner and Chopper 2, a number of homes have collapsed. In Studio City, a miraculous story that no one was killed there in the collapse of at least one hillside home. Numerous fires throughout the city. The freeway has collapsed at the I-5 and the I-14, the I-10 near Fairfax. In fact, the Santa Monica freeway has sustained incredible damage. We've been seeing those pictures throughout the morning. The freeway collapsed at the 118 at Balboa. LAX is shut down there, but I will tell you that we're getting word now that some flights, some limited flights, are coming into LAX. So part of that airport apparently is still shut down, and that's, of course, a major hub for the rest of the nation. It's probably creating problems all across the country. But we understand that some flights are coming in, I assume, as officials begin to check the damage on the runways and decide whether or not it is safe there. We're looking at Sylmar here, an incredible, incredible sight. This freeway structure that has totally collapsed on itself, totally collapsed onto another part of the freeway. Joe, are you at Caltech? I know that Kate Hutton's been talking out there the last couple of moments.
We're at Caltech right now with Kate Hutton, as a matter of fact. We're going to pick it up. We've talked about a 6.6 earthquake at 4:31 this morning. The big question on everybody's mind is, does that mean we're going to get a bigger quake?
Okay, well, there's always a small chance that any quake is a foreshock to something bigger. But the chance is less than 5% at this point. And because we've had an example of activity in our history, in other words, the San Fernando earthquake was a very textbook aftershock sequence. We're hoping that this one is going to follow pretty much the same pattern, and there won't be anything larger than 6.6, but there certainly will be aftershocks. So I think people need to be prepared for a little bit of further damage over the next few days.
Well, we've already had aftershocks, haven't we?
Oh, yes, right.
And
we've had at least one above magnitude 5, and we've had a total of 5 that were magnitude 4 and greater. We expect to see that continue over the next few days.
We're saying now we believe the epicenter was in Northridge, but the actual rupture zone where the intense energy was felt is much bigger. How big was that?
Oh, okay. Well, the fault runs apparently east-west through San Fernando Valley, and so basically from one end of the valley to the other, I think.
From one end of the valley to the other is the whole rupture zone, you think?
We expect to see the rupture zone to be about 10, 15 miles long, and that's pretty much the width of San Fernando Valley in its northern part. So,
what happened here? We know about things along the San Andreas Fault where California's splitting and moving up and down the coast. What happened here in the valley?
Well, because there's a bend in the San Andreas Fault, there's a lot of compression in the LA Basin area. In the San Gabriel Mountains are basically being shoved up, and the Santa Monica Mountains are being shoved up to get out of the way. And this is on one of those thrust faults, which is involved in raising those mountains. We don't know exactly which fault at this point, but we know that that's the general tectonic character of the situation.
So basically the mountains are moving up and the valley is kind of contracting a little bit.
The valley would have contracted a foot or two, right.
Will we see that on the ground?
Well, probably not. If the fault breaks, if it turns out that there is a fault break at the surface, it will be localized in one area. But probably it's going to be sort of distributed over the whole valley area, so there won't be all in one person's backyard, for example.
Okay, so to recap again quickly, because I know you want to get out of the room. 6.6 at 4:31 this morning.
4:31 this morning.
Chances are slim that we're going to see anything big.
Park, a 34-unit apartment building that was apparently shaken so badly that the fire department is now forcing an evacuation at this location, asking everyone to get out as quickly as they can, remove what items they can, and then move on. Any more movement of the ground, any more shaking can bring this entire building down. We'll continue to show you some of the damage on this particular building as we talk to Rafael and Christina Rodriguez. Just describe where you were, how it happened for you.
Well, we were in the bedroom, and all of a sudden it just started shaking. The TV fell over, the dresser, everything just started going. The bed started moving, the glass, everything just started falling.
A 34-unit apartment building. Clearly people must have come out right away, started reacting to this. What was the scene inside of that apartment house?
Well, I mean, there was people hysterical, and everybody was just in there. A lot of people
were stuck.
A lot of people were stuck inside.
They couldn't get out. We had to kick doors in.
We're showing you pictures now of the side of the apartment building on the driveway where you can see that the building is so badly damaged, it's been completely buckled out. You've got cracks, you've got windows broken. What's the damage like inside? If we were inside one of these units, what would we be seeing right now?
It's terrible. The hallways are, I mean, it's
Everything is buckled up. The walls are against other walls. There's glass all in the hallway. Windows.
glass are all over the place, so you just can't even walk in the halls. It's so bad.
Holes in the ground.
Did all of this damage happen with the first round, or were the aftershocks a factor in this damage as well?
It was the first round. First round. Everything happened the first round.
It's a tragic situation. We're getting word that there may have been a fatality here. I can't confirm it. Now the firemen are going gingerly down. They've been inspecting the damage. They've got urban search and rescue teams on the scene and a rescue.
Coverage of the very, very extensive freeway and fire damage now in the aftermath of the earthquake.
We should let you know that LAX was closed for 2.5 hours this morning as a result of...
We're concerned not only with the people in Los Angeles, of course, but with everybody in the region. And we're urging everybody to please stay in a safe location and practice everything they've learned about how to behave in an earthquake.
I guess a lot of people felt that those highways, including the one we're looking at, was earthquake-proof, but this certainly denies that assumption.
Well, unfortunately, in an emergency situation like this, we're very sad when any major infrastructure damage happens. But of course, the mayor and my main concern is loss of life or injuries or anything like that. And we're praying that the people of Los Angeles remain safe. We're praying that the people, many people haven't been hurt and that their property is okay, and that we're going to be able to hopefully respond to this emergency as quickly as possible.
David, was City Hall affected by the quake? Was it damaged?
I haven't been able to assess the building yet. As you know,
Right now, we're going to the 118, which, as you can see, has collapsed. Standing by there, Linda Moore. Linda, tell us about it.
Well, this is actually the Mission Hills area, and this is the stretch of the 118 that has collapsed. We've got about approximately a 2-mile stretch of freeway here that looks very much like this. And maybe we can walk a little bit toward the end here, and you can see there is one car that was caught in this. And I was told there were 1 or 2 people inside that car. They have been taken to a hospital, and we don't know the extent of their injuries. The street that this freeway collapsed on is Gothic, and this is the 118 portion right very near the 405, and a 2-mile stretch of the freeway has been shut down. And this brings back horrible memories for me of the Nimitz Freeway covering the San Francisco earthquake a few years ago, and a few of us were just talking about how...
This is Jeffrey Schaub back in San Francisco. We understand Governor Pete Wilson, who has declared a state of emergency in the LA area, is about to make an announcement. We are going to go to that now.
For I-5, the very strange thing is that everyone, of course, is craning their necks out the window to try and see anything that they can of the earthquake. And any time there would be a fire or smoke or any indication, suddenly you hear the oohs and ahs as people try to reach over the passenger sitting next to them and take a look at it. Once again, it seems very quiet. The freeway is uncharacteristically empty for this time of the morning. I remember during the our own Loma Prieta earthquake, everyone kind of stayed indoors for a while. Everyone was very gentle with each other. It takes a while to get over that shock, I think.
Burbank Airport is operating normally from what you can see, Gary?
Well, from this point, I can see that there are a couple of American Airlines flights. There's a Reno Air flight moving around at the airport, which is unusual because Burbank is actually closer to the epicenter of the earthquake than Los Angeles Airport. But from what we have heard, Los Angeles Airport is still closed. I know that a couple of flights that were supposed to come in by 7:30 this morning were canceled by United Airlines.